don't know me, my name is Ronaldo Wallace. I'm the Career Service Manager, and under that umbrella, I look after the alumni program. So while I think we've got a great alumni program in place this year, I want to expand it. But to do that, I really need input from yourselves. So during the session or after the session, if you want to contact me and just to develop further sessions, if there's some information you want me to track down and have a presenter, I'm happy to do that. I just need to have that information, but that's something we can talk about later. But without further ado, let's get started. So over to you, Ronaldo. Would you like to introduce yourself? And away you go.
Thank you everyone. Listen, well, yes, you already pretty much gave them an idea who I am. I'm Ronaldo, a student from Endeavor, but I'm also nutritionist and dietitian. I graduated in 2005, and I've been pretty much doing nutrition since I was 15 years old. And I've been from a young athlete to a student of nutrition, came to Australia. Then I went to study fitness, graduated in 2007, and then I became a personal trainer and a nutritionist in Australia, where I worked in the fitness industry for 4 years. I still do a lot of work for athletes and still doing fitness programs, but my passion is nutrition. I ended up becoming a chef as well, which now I have a cafe here in Gold Coast and I wrote a cookbook. So under that, I think umbrella, I became, just a health advocate, and I still do a lot of work on the community, teaching seminars, cooking classes, and sometimes it's free because I do community work, but at the same time, I do projects where I'm a key speaker. I have, my social media followers where I tend to release every week tips and recipes or just information about health. And as an educator, I have a massive passion to teach. And as a student, probably that's one of my passions as well is constantly studying. That's why I'm doing naturopathy now. And I'm doing purely to grow my knowledge about herbs and also be able to teach people how to get healthy on a daily basis using natural therapies. And since I'm studying at Endeavor, I think my knowledge has developed so much because as a nutritionist, I was limited to just nutrients and to certain types of treatments, where now I'm seeing the whole picture holistically. So I was a student from a university in Brazil that was very close-minded in a way that was very conventional, very Western. And now here in Australia, I develop a different style. And I'm much more prone to the natural therapies. And it's great. I love it. I love being a student, I love being a teacher. Every teacher is a student, really.
Yeah. I think that's a great introduction, Ronaldo. I mean, there's so many different, like you talked about opening up a cafe, you're talking about social media. There's so many different things that I think the people listening to tonight can, that probably want to expand themselves. So I think we might throw out, just say, are there any questions that you've got straight away to Ronaldo, like as in with the things that he focused on starting his business, or what did he do from when he started, when he completed his studies to opening the business? Are there any questions that you've got to start away? Because Ronaldo's got so much information he's going to give us in this session, and just by talking us through his career path, but I want to make sure you get all your questions answered. So, Ronaldo, if you want to probably start on actually the process you went to opening your business, but if I get any questions that come in, I'll fire them at you.
So I had a business in Brazil, which was a health food, a juice bar, just a shop where I used to do a lot of healthy foods inside the gymnasium, and that was during the university. And I always wanted to have a shop where I could offer people not only healthy food but drinks and smoothies. And in Brazil, that time was quite, trendy to have gyms with their own cafe. So I opened one, and then the gym ended up closing, and I had no, let's say, no business anymore, and I decided to, finish university and come to Australia and try my career here. I was planning to stay here for 6 months to a year and just use a little bit of my time to, develop my English, learn other skills. I ended up becoming a personal trainer because that's one of my passions, is training, is exercise, fitness. Every day I do that. So I ended up going to Australian Institute of Fitness, where I graduated in 2007, and I went to work for one of the fastest franchise of personal training in the country. And I learned so much as a personal trainer, as well, how to, teach people on a daily basis when they come to you at the gym. So it was a much more, I think, effective job as a trainer, knowing nutrition, because I could coach my clients about not only fitness but about their food as well. So I had a massive success as a personal trainer. Ended up getting a prize of the best personal trainer of Gold Coast in 2008. And from there, my career took off in Australia. A lot of people came to me for my nutrition advice, for for my training sessions, and I became a very well-known PT for years, until I realized that I had so much more to offer. Apart from being a fitness professional, I knew a lot about nutrition, and I want to develop my skills further. So I decided to go and do business and marketing, and in 2009 I opened a business called NutriFood, which was healthy food meal, like package ready to go, and I was selling them internally to my clients inside the gym. So we had a very good success in that year, sold a lot of meals to the gym until we opened a cafe in 2000.
Ronaldo, I'll just come in there for a moment. I think Debbie's just come in with a question, and it's a really good one, and I think you half answered it. But the question is from Debbie: personal training and nutrition are both very popular, which I'm sure we agree. How did you get your name out there among all the others doing the same? And I know from your answer you said that in the personal training you obviously excelled in that, and you used your name to build it and grow. But I guess, is there anything else that you want to talk to us about, how you actually established your profile in both those areas?
Yeah, I can give you only, I think, my, let's say, from my own experience. I think what you can do differently than most personal trainers out there, or nutritionists, is your people skills, your personal skills, and it's learning about how to communicate. So I did courses about how to communicate effectively. I did a lot of not sales training, I would say, but how to sell yourself and how to be able to market yourself. And because I study market, and I did course, but I also did short courses about communication, I knew how to read a person from 30 seconds to a minute, and how to communicate effectively with them. And as a personal trainer, as a nutritionist as well, when they come to you, if you know a lot of the stuff, but you cannot communicate and pass that to them, you might end up not having a good result, just because you don't know how to pass that information. So I applied myself a lot to read about communication profile, different types of people. There is in business we call DISC, D-I-S-N-C, and I did a lot of DISC profile with my clients to find out what were their style of communication and what their behaviors. So as a personal trainer, I had really good mentors as well, business mentors. Had a lot of guys that knew what they were doing before me, which speed up your results. So I think what you can do differently if you are a nutritionist, Debbie, or if you're a personal trainer, or both, is to learn more about people and to learn how to communicate with them, know a little bit about marketing. And when you go out there, try to add value to the people without thinking, oh, this is a prospect. I'm trying to sell myself here. So I think if you always think about everyone is a prospect, but if you add value to them first, they're more likely to remember you and more likely to do business with you because you're giving them such a good value already before charge them for a service. And that's what I did. I used to go there and talk to people, and if they need a nutritional information, I would give for them. I would, talk with them for 5 minutes and give them a lot of value in a way that I would help with their health or their fitness. And at the end, they would always remember, oh, if I need a trainer, if I need a nutritionist, I know a guy. So I got, my word out there, and because I'm Brazilian, I got that personality, being extroverted and a bit funny. I speak funny until today. I still get my grammar wrong. So that was partially my branding as well. People were saying, oh, you're funny. You speak some things that are, wrong, but we still understand you. And until today, it's part, I think, of my personality now. But yeah, all I can say is, if you know your stuff, know now how to communicate with people, because if you are in this industry, it's all about people and that relationship.
Thanks, Ronaldo. I hope that answers your question, Debbie. I just want to touch on one other thing that you did mention there, Ronaldo, is the mentoring. So for yourself, who's come from Brazil, were your mentors back in Brazil, or do you have some mentors that you established in Australia? And how did you actually go about establishing those, if you did?
No, I had some mentors here in Australia. In Brazil, I had only tutors and orientators inside university, which they don't have much of that business skills. They were more about the nutrition side of things. But here in Australia, I had a lot of business mentors and people that knew a lot about marketing, how to promote themselves. So I did a lot of studies on like I said, on business and marketing for almost 2 years of my life. And during that period, I read a lot of books. I did a lot of courses. I started to listen, a lot of guys out there that were famous for being a good promoters and marketers. And my mentors were business partners or bosses that I had, or even at one stage of my life, I invested in a business coach. And it's an expense, but it gave me a lot of edge because my coach was the guy that used to give me constantly motivation, inspiration, education, and he was constantly getting me more and more value every session. It was for a year, but in that year I grew so much compared to most people, and it's an expense that you can justify if you're getting results.
Yeah,
So
I think it's important. Like every expense that ever comes, because some of our alumni that I'm in contact with are just starting their business, and some have been more established. And yeah, so it's obviously getting the value for money too. So, but it is something that hasn't really been touched on any other of our sessions. Is getting a business coach in to assist you. So it's it's a good point to raise.
It's definitely, because sometimes you're at university, you know a lot about naturopathy or nutrition, but you don't know how to manage yourself or manage your business or manage your budget, or how to invest smart on something that are necessarily important for your business. For example, marketing. A lot of people don't know marketing because or they don't like it, or they think it's not important. But unfortunately, if you want to be your own business, you have to invest some sort of budget on marketing, on promotion, and doesn't need to be expensive. I think you just need to invest constantly on promotion and marketing. As you know, part of a big college like that, you have to set budgets every year for for marketing materials, printouts, brochures, flyers, and that's something I always did. Was set 5%, maybe 10% of my income, and invest on marketing, and maybe 5% of my personal income to grow myself. So one of my business coaches tell me, if you put 5% of your pay into your own personal growth and development, could be books, could be DVDs, or could be a session with a coach. If you do that, then constantly you having more and more money, because you becoming more, financial, let's say, intelligent. And that's a lot of people, they have intelligence, but financial intelligence is different. I was not educated by my parents how to manage my money, how to manage my business. I learned that with other people, with mentors and with my bosses, with my partners. And a lot of students get out of there on the market, and they know a lot of things, but they might not know, how to promote themselves. So all I can say is try to understand marketing a little bit, how to promote yourself, especially on this era, with so many vehicles of information. You have the internet, you have the everyday life, brochures, like I said, you have newspaper. But I think one thing is good about this generation is computer and is social media. Try to create your own page and, add value to people on your own page, and people start to follow. And when you see you have a bunch of followers that might like to help you promote what you do.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Ronaldo. I just thought I'd give you some. Debbie's come back and said, "Wow, great advice. Thanks. I'm certainly not Brazilian, but hopefully I can take the rest on board." So, yeah.
That's right, Debbie. You don't need to be Brazilian. Just need to be kind with people and just, help people out and just learn their communication styles. And if you do that disc, it's called disc, just do your profile. In fact, I'll give you a website really good to go. Just type AnthonyRobbins.com. Anthony Robbins is one of the biggest, self-development coaches in the world. In his website, you're going to see on the right-hand side, you got a profile disc you can do for free. It takes about an hour to do, but at the end, you can see your own profile there. That will show who are you in a way, how you communicate, how you behave, what are your values. And then you start to read more about this profile, you're going to understand that every one of us have a different profile of how to communicate. And if you learn a little bit about this, I promise you your communication skills are going to take to a next level. And you can read people in 30 seconds what their behavior style, and you can communicate effectively with them.
That's great advice.
My pleasure.
You've touched on the social media side of things, Ronaldo. So,
Yep.
I mean, if I just didn't know you and Googled you, I know that you've got quite a following. So, again, it's another aspect that it'd be really good to understand how you actually built that profile online, because it's one thing to be in meeting people, say at the Gold Coast personal training, and you're getting results by people coming to see you, but how did you actually grow your profile online?
I started, I think, just, probably in 2008, just talk about things that I was doing daily. And then I think I started to grow my profile really in 2011 when I launched my book, The Ronaldo's Kitchen, which I don't know if you guys know, but it's my book that I launched in 2011. So when I launched this book, I created a page on Facebook, and it was Ronaldo's Kitchen, which I still have this page. And from there, I constantly posted things about health, nutrition, fitness, cooking, and people were starting to follow me for my information more than my personality. And then I had a website, and the website was really good because I had a blog. I'll show you guys later a little bit about my website. I had videos on YouTube, but I think my followers came from everywhere in the world. I have people now a lot of people from Korea that follow me on YouTube, or Japan, and Brazil, which I'm not in Brazil physically for 8 years, but I still have people follow me there, and it's people that I never met personally. And that's the beauty of, I think, social media. You can reach all the world if you want. I think it's competitive. Yes, it's difficult to get your name out there, especially now. But I think if you post about valuable things, which is health information, nutrition, whatever you know, whatever you can add value, I think people will start to follow you. And pictures are important nowadays, very visual this generation. So I used to take picture of my dishes and post, or take a picture about a seminar that I was doing, and I was constantly blogging and promoting that. And I became quite popular for my, for my posts, for the funny things I used to say sometimes, and not necessarily about health and nutrition. It was about also my personal experience with life. So I had a lot of people follow me for my motivational quotes, or for my way of living. And I think the better you can be with yourself and the best you can be, I think then you have that power of inspiring and motivating people. Did I answer?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just taking notes here as we go on. I'm not sure if we haven't had any other questions coming in at the moment.
That's okay. I can talk about, I can talk for people that are listening then, a naturopath and nutritionist. I think we have a big advantage as being health professionals, that we can supply information with credibility and, with scientific data. A lot of people out there posting nowadays things that they might know, but they don't know if it's true or not. It's not backed up by science. We have that. We study for it, and we can teach people about important things. And if we all do our part as a health professional, I think that the more you add value, like I said, it's all about value at the end of the day. Because if someone are seeing you, and they know you got credibility, and you know your staff, and you share them with them, they're more likely to follow you, to recommend you, to refer you to someone that need it. So all I can say as a business owner, it's always about promotion. It's always about meeting people, making friends, like we say in the fitness industry. The more you meet people, the more you talk with them about what you do, more likely they're gonna remember you next time. And make cards, give cards everywhere you go. Of course, not to distribute around, but if you know someone, if you meet them and you are in a rush, at least you get them a little, thing to take home, which is your business card. And don't forget, always the best business card is your smile always. Hey.
For me, this is really good information. I guess what's coming out to me is that you're obviously a very busy person, because if you're doing a blog, you've got clients.
Yeah.
You've got your. I mean, we haven't even touched on how you wrote your book and that sort of thing. How did you go with the whole time management side of things? Because I mean, the way to make money, I guess, is to see more clients, but then you can't actually be seeing the clients if you're writing the blog. How did you make that balance right and work for you?
Self management and time management is very important when it comes to business. Otherwise, you're losing time with little things. So what I did at the beginning to write this book, I set a goal, and I put a goal in my mind, which was to complete this book in 2 years. But I wrote this book in 21 days. Like, I sat down for 3 weeks, and I just non-stop wrote for 10 hours a day. I had a period of a break from the college and from work. I said, instead of going overseas, I'm going to sit down at home. I'm going to do a detox. I did a detox while I was writing, and I just, just wrote for 8-10 hours a day. But before that, I was collecting enough material. I was taking pictures of my dishes. I was trying to create recipes, because my book is half cookbook and half nutrition. So the nutrition component, I had to research a lot, which I had a bunch of papers I was reading. And then the recipes, I had to go to the kitchen and practice and see if the recipe was good to do at home or easy. So the book took, let's say, the whole project 2 years, but I actually never intend to actually write it so fast. What happened is I had a perfect window opportunity of 3 weeks, and I was doing a business course, and the coach said you have, at the beginning of this course, you have to set a goal to accomplish in 21 days. And this goal has to be something that it's hard. You're going to have to stretch yourself, and it's something that you never think would be possible. And you know, I had a friend that she passed away in that week, and she died from brain tumor, and she, you know, was a good friend of mine, and I was with her for a year and a half during her treatment. And what I observed with, you know, people that have brain tumors, that they have sometimes a lifestyle, and she had a lifestyle, and she had a lot of products that she used to use, like you know, artificial sweeteners, and a lot of artificial sweets and a lot of chemicals. And I started to research all about it because I was curious what gives people cancer, especially brain tumor, with such a young age. And one of the things came up was, you know, artificial sweeteners, was nitrates, and was pesticides, herbicides, all these chemicals that we have nowadays in our let's say everyday life. And I thought I have to let people know about it. And because she died, she made me think, well, I could be the next, or I'm not being fair with people that don't know this information. So now I know, and my business coach said, you gotta go, so write this book. So in 21 days I finished this book. So saying about time management, I had no time for anything when I was writing. I was just at home. Luckily I had a holiday. But now my life, I pretty much do chunks and blocks of 4 hours where I do different things, and that's something I learned with coaches as well, and I can give you guys a tip. So if you do chunks of your day of 4 hours, so if you have 6 to 10, you do just one type of activity. So let's say it's administration or marketing, you're going to sit on your computer, you do that for 4 hours and don't leave that. Just do it, and do all your emails, all your calls, get it done for 4 hours. After that 4 hours, have a break, and after, you know, that 4 hours, set something else different, and could be anywhere from going outside and do something for yourself or for your business, but always doing chunks of 4. What I found is if you do that, you're much more effective, because then you can focus your energy in doing something at the same time. Like, let's say administration is hard, don't leave your office until you get done. Going outside to meet clients, do all in that 4 hours gap. Do you need to train, you need to exercise, doing in a time block that you know you can get all done. So let's say shopping, fitness, and get home and cook. That can be done in 4 hours. So what I tell people is time management it's very important, but it's also very challenging if you're not used to. I have a diary. I don't, you know, always follow my diary schedule, but I try to put all in the paper or on my phone. I have to remind myself about, you know, my seminars or my classes 2 months ahead, because sometimes you got caught up on your daily things, you forget about what you have, you know, the next few days. So I put an alarm on my phone all the time to remind me 2-3 days before the event happen. If I have to see people, important clients, I always put them as a priority. And if you do that, a list of priorities you have to do in the day, and set them on that block, the chunk blocks, your life becomes much easier. And I promise you, you're going to see how easy it is if you're doing chunks of 4.
Okay, that's a really good tip. Thanks, Ronaldo. Going back to I just want to touch on something that you mentioned very early on. You talked about passions, and there's a reason why everyone's involved in doing they completed their studies and actually go and do it. But you actually connected that with when you wrote your book. The passion of yours was actually to tell the story of, I mean, you had a personal tragedy that happened to you, so that you made it into your passion to pass the message on. So I guess that's something very important for myself to take out of this, is that if you connect with what you're doing in your career with your passion, I mean, you'll obviously you're more likely to follow that through than just something that you're not so connected with. So that's a really good tip. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. My pleasure. Yeah, passion for me, it's, you know, it's the driving force, and I had a lot of passion for nutrition since I was a teenager, but I had a lot of also passion to teach, and I knew all this information was in my head and, you know, the books that I had before, and I said, I need to do something for the world, like, because everyone should write something. Could be a big book, a small book, but everyone has a knowledge and has a story to share. And I believe that everyone by the end of their life should be able to write something to the world, to live as a, you know, as a, I don't know, part of your own history. Now we have Facebooks and people can remember you on Facebook, but I believe that people should write something that they know really well. Even if it's a 10-page ebook, and, you know, put that for free. But I believe if you start to write something that you are passionate about, then passion comes to your life and it's contagious. And people say to me, how you can live with such a lot of energy and passion. It's because I don't think about work. I just wake up and I think about the things I love to do and I go for it. And, you know, of course we all have bills to pay and passion don't pay bills. But what I tell people is do something that you at least like it. And when you go 100% and, you know, invest your energy, and you see that's much easier to do something you meant to, like you love it. It comes naturally.
No, that's really good advice, Ronaldo. I guess as the time's starting to move along, and we have talked about this in previous alumni sessions, is we've talked about social media, but also building websites, or, I mean, you mentioned
Yeah.
Facebook, so some of our alumni, rather than going on and building a website straight away, they've used their Facebook accounts as their website
Yeah.
essentially to really connect with people. But you've actually gone on and built a website. So do you want to talk about the process that you went through in actually establishing your own website?
Yep, I can show them. I'll put you guys on the page here on my computer. I'll show you my website. That's the website I have at the moment. And this website was created in 2011 when I launched my book. The reason why I created is because, you know, I want to add videos. As you can see here, there's videos there which I recorded purely to promote the book, but also to let people know who I am, like, you know, rather than being just always blogging. I want to show them a bit of the personality as well. And then I did a second ebook, which is called Healthy Sweet Treats. And, you know, always good to market that as well. So I did this because it's my house, you know, it's where people can find me. And then I could put, you know, classes, which I put normally upcoming classes, which I used to run a lot of more healthy cooking workshops. Then I put a page about my book because, you know, I could sell my book online, and, you know, if people want to get them all over Australia, was the easiest way to direct them to, you know, to your own page. What I have a lot of clicks on my websites, my videos, and that's why I am filming more and more lately, because I think videos is the way to go. You can share your information much quicker, and, you know, 1-2 minutes, like these videos here, they have 2 minutes or 1 minute 34, and it was about, you know, ingredients. And I did these videos for a while and got me at least a bit of popularity on the social media, Facebook. I had everything that I had on the media. I used to put there as an option for my clients to see me after they purchased the book. They want a little bit more, you know, connection with me, so they could see me. Then I did the blog, which for me, the blog was really good. I did a lot of recipes on these blogs, and I used to post, about the recipes. And I did, you know, various recipes along these years. So I used to post like every month. Now, blogging is something that I haven't been active for the last 2-3 months, because I've been working on this new project called RonaldoFulieri.com, which is going live in August. So I had to dedicate a lot to my next blogs, which is going to come out very soon. So this one I stopped for now. This website's going to actually be removed from July 30th, and we're going to upload the new website, which is, I'll give you guys the address. But what I say is to my clients or my friends, if they want to blog, you know, there's so many ways to do blog nowadays. You can open one for free. You don't need to pay anyone to do a website. You can just blog and you can direct people to your blog. But if you're using social media like Facebook, that's the easiest way, really. You just write something there, post a picture, give them a little bit of, you know, information about what you're doing. That's, I think, the easiest way. Because people nowadays, they tired, I think, of reading a lot of pages and big blogs. I think the most successful blogs are small blogs. And, you know, pictures is always important to drive attention first, and then you write something about it. So what I always did is with my blogs, always put pictures with it, because that's what drives people first, and then give them a little bit of taste what you're doing. And because I like cooking, I always post about food. You know, it's Ronaldo's Kitchen. That's how I got my name out there, also for being a good cook and a chef, professional chef. So not only nutritionist, I was a chef and personal trainer, so people liked my recipes, especially this one, my famous recipe, the quinoa salsa. This recipe went, you know, all over the world. It's probably the most famous recipe of my book, and people buy my book just for this recipe because I created, and it's one of those creations like it's really, really nice. And I have people telling me they eat that every single day, and at my cafe I sell that like so much every day. It's a very good recipe. So guys, you can see the recipe here if you want to do at home, and even recommend to your clients. It's a great recipe. I'm sure they're gonna love it. But that's
Unfortunately,
it, right?
because I'm on webcam, obviously I can't eating, but if you're at home and you've got some food nearby, because we're talking about food so much, feel free to eat away, because you're making me really hungry,
Yeah,
Ronaldo.
I'm
Oh,
hungry too. I'm getting hungry
and
as
it's
well.
funny just to say that Debbie goes, yeah, I'm making me hungry as well. That's what she's right.
Yeah, all this amazing food that I created along the years, and I was taking pictures with my phone, but I also had a professional photographer taking the pictures for me, which makes a huge difference. Especially this kind of picture I could never do on my phone. So I invested not only my time, my money on my own things like proper pictures, which helps sometimes invest on a photographer just to take a couple of pictures of yourself or of your work, because you know that's what they do best. So sometimes it's good to invest on professionals because that's what they pay for.
And
But that's my blog.
with the
Yeah.
professional side of things, Ronaldo, um, Debbie had a question just in regards to the website. So when you actually established that, did you have a have an idea or a concept, and you found whoever created your web? Did you go to them with the idea, or
Yeah.
was there a bit of back and forth? Like how did that come about?
Um, I had built two websites in, let's say, three. I'm on the third now. I haven't built, sorry, the guys built for me, but I had actually all the structure in my head. So sometimes to do a website, how does that work if you're going to work with someone like a web designer? You have to give them, um, you know, the plan on a piece of paper, just how you want your website to look, because it's very easy for them to just, you know, do whatever, but sometimes they do something you don't like it. So I would recommend you put on a paper everything you want on your website and give them a direction, because then they can actually translate and say, okay, that's what you want, and they go and they design. These fonts that you see here, Ronaldo's Kitchen, the colors, that's nothing mine. It's all their creations. But they, you know, they knew that I want something fresh, something healthy look, a white background because it's something clean that I could, you know, change every now and then. And I told them I want my website to look, you know, easy to navigate. I don't want to be complicated. I don't want to advertise. I don't want anything that's going to pollute the website. I just want something very easy. So this is my website that I created in 2010 with copyright, which is here, as at the bottom you can see. They are professionals. They're here in Gold Coast. They have really good, you know, pricing for their website, and they're quick. Sometimes you want to build a website. If you pay cheap, you might get something dodgy and take ages to build. And all I can say to people is they might invest $300 on a website, 500, and they made overseas. They sometimes are disappointed because the website doesn't navigate easily. The software they use sometimes not the best software, especially behind your website always going to have a system that runs the page, and if that system is not easily, then you have a massive trouble to manage your own website. Especially if you're selling something, you need to have a system to get the money, and has to be a system that are secure and effectively, otherwise you're not going to be able to sell your product. And all I tell people is,
sorry, Ronaldo, that's a really
yeah,
good point, because I've had some conversations similar to the question we've had about building websites. I'm not really sure who do I go to, and I know there's been some conversations between current students even about there's different companies. I think there's Odesk and Elance, just to name a few, where you actually put a submission in to say, oh, I want to build a website, and for instance, I'll say Ronaldo's Kitchen, and what you do, you put it in,
yeah,
and then they actually it goes overseas, and people just put in submissions for it, and then you pick the best submission, which might be really good. You might work out for you, but I think there are some things that Ronaldo's saying here that you need to be cautious about. So just be whatever avenue
yeah.
you choose. I mean, you might decide that Facebook's the way to go, and that really works really well. But just be careful.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people doing really good prices out there, and then don't get me wrong, you can get actually good websites done for little budgets, but there's a lot of dodgy people out there as well. So you just gotta research, do your background research on their business and on what they done before you. Like, so if you have someone you know um, trying to do a job for you, just ask them, can I see other works that you've done, or can I see a website that are similar to mine? If they don't have much history doing websites, be careful. They might not be a very experienced web designer. But all I did with my first website was a bit, yeah, it was all right, but wasn't what I expect. This second one, when I created, it was what I wanted in that time, but not what I do want now. That's why I'm gonna reformulate, and I'm doing another website completely from the scratch. Just as we speak, there's people working on it, because we evolve and we want to change. Like, this is not my branding anymore, in a way that I'm much more than Ronaldo's Kitchen now. I want to put something else on my website, so I'm taking Ronaldo's Kitchen down and merging Ronaldo's Kitchen into my new website, which is called, I'll show you guys here, it's ronaldofulieri.com, and I'll have videos. I'm gonna have a lot of other things here. So guys, you can put your name and email address, and when it's about to launch, I can show you guys a little bit about it. But for you guys to have idea what's being done so far, I can show you. I shouldn't, but I show you quickly. That's my new website, and see, it changed a little. It has a different look, different style. So that's all under construction at the moment. And I did that in 2011, now 2014, 3 years later. I developed myself, I changed it. So now I want to put a different twist on it, different colors, a bit more mature. And I changed it as well here, as you can see on the top, all my, let's say, the menu bar. I changed it. Now I added nutrition, fitness, blog, free stuff, which I plan to do a lot of free downloadables, which is what I told you guys value. And I'll have ebooks for free. I'll have probably a lot of workout plans all for free. Then products and events, which I want to promote to all my events. So this website's my newest one, which I'm working with my team there right now. And it's coming in August. So if you want to go to the website back, which is ronaldofulieri.com, leave your email and name. When it's ready, I'll contact you guys, and you'll be one of the first to know about it.
That sounds really good, Nick. Ronaldo, yeah, we've gone past. We've got less than 15 minutes to go, so I just want to. You've achieved so much in your career at the moment, and for me, I just want the people who are listening tonight and actually going to come back and record. I mean, just for just to give them some of your thoughts about what's achievable for them. Because for me, I look at what you've done. I've gone, well, there's no way I'd ever be able to write a book or create a website like that. I mean, yes, there's some things, some aspects of what you've done that definitely people would want to achieve. But what advice have you got to say that yes, this is achievable for anyone who actually wants to achieve it? I guess.
Yeah. Ah, well,
Did you
all
have
I
this
can say
plan when
is
you started? Like, what was your plan when you started
no.
this part?
I was actually, like a teenager that always liked to to help people, or I always liked to actually do business, but also help people. But I always thought when I was doing university, nutrition university, that I would end up in a clinic and would be there, all my life just doing clinic. And then I did clinic for a year, and I worked in hospitals, and I worked in clinics, and I said, this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. I want to be out there. I want to be an educator. I didn't know I was about to write a book, in less than a decade. I thought, to write a book it's it's a big job. It's almost impossible. But all I can say is nothing is impossible. I think if you have some dreams and goals, but if you want badly enough, all I can say is if you want something badly enough, um, you manifest that some way, and people come your path, or some event's gonna happen to change you to think about what you really want. And in my case, I knew I want to write something, a book, but I thought it was so far away. I would probably do that for 40, 50 years. And it happened now in my 20s. I'm writing my second one. It's coming this year. And it's step by step. I think every day it's small changes. And if you do 1% a day towards what you want, at the end of the year, you have 365%. So, 1% a day, it might be nothing. It might be one step closer to your book. Maybe get a recipe, or write something, one page, and when you see you have a page of 365, if you start at the beginning of the year, you have a big book. So nothing is impossible. I think if you break down your big goal into little achievable goals, I think that's the secret. Some people want to be, business owner, but they don't know how to get there. So try to study about business first and know how to, to build a business. Or if you want to have a clinic with 200 people in your clinic, or you want 50, clients, you start with one, you start with 5, build to 10, and always have goals. And I'm a very goal-driven guy. And I learned that from a young age, and especially if you write down your goals, that's a massive thing for helping you manifest that. Because all I can say is when I was about to write my book, I never understood, but in my vision board, I had a book there, and I wrote above this little picture of this book, the name of my book, which I didn't know yet, but I just put a name there, and I put will be done by 2012, and that was 2009. It was in my plans, but I didn't know how to get there, and all manifested and all ended up happening by 2011. And being a personal trainer, the same. I never thought I would become a personal trainer, but I wrote down on my goal list, to be a fitness professional some stage of my career, and I ended up becoming. So write goals. You see that it's very nice. Set the date to accomplish, even if it's 1 year goal, 6 month, 1 year, or 5 year goal, or even 10-year goal. But if you write in your piece of paper, put on your vision board, put pictures, make it a really nice visual board, and stick somewhere where you can see daily. If you spend 5 minutes a day, that's proven. If you spend 5 minutes a day looking this vision board, just looking what you want, you see that your brain gonna come up with the ways to make it happen. So
Yeah, I wonder if anyone who's attending tonight want to give us a goal, whether you've actually gone, oh, I don't really have a goal, and how about let's throw throw a few around, or tell us about a goal that you're currently working towards. Ronaldo,
No.
have you got a new goal that you're working towards now, or is there something?
Yes, well, I have so many goals, but I have always like personal goals and financial goals, and I have like fitness goals. I always separate them by categories. I think my personal goal this year is, to go really well at college, and be able to manage my professional life with my student life. Even though I don't want to fail, and my first semester at the Endeavor, I failed one subject because I wasn't present as much, and I let it go. And so I have a personal goal now. I don't want to fail anything, and I want to be a good student, present every class, and I want to be able to get high marks, and probably higher distinction. But I think personal goal as well for me is try to be fit, healthy every day, to eat well. Business goals, I have many, but I think this year for me the biggest goal is to launch this new website, which we're going to have 50 videos. It's have probably a new kitchen because my cafe needs a bigger kitchen, so we're going towards a second business this year. So I always put little goals, big goals, goals that you achieve in 3 months or goals you achieve in a year. And so that's what I'm saying. I have so many. I write them all at the end of the year, or I do or at the beginning of the year, like a New Year's resolution. I write down everything. I write like whatever I want to achieve in that year, and then I start to put like the time frame when I want to accomplish them. And then I separate, all right, the 3 month goal, that's here, the 6 month, and then a year. And I work towards them. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Debbie's the main person who's throwing around a few thoughts tonight. So she's come back with in regards to goals. Well, it's not really a goal. It's 1% a day equals 365% a year. That's my new mantra. So you've definitely made a difference there
There
with
you
Debbie by
go.
the sounds of it. So
That's it.
um,
Well, that's it, Debbie. The 1% is little, but when you see at the end of the year, you're gonna have a massive change because 365, it's a very powerful number. It's 3.5 times what you can do in one day. So take your time. 1%, it's little change every day.
we've come to the last 5 minutes. So we haven't had too many questions come in like that. You've been answering the questions as they've popped up. So I mean that's been really good. But if anyone does have anything that we haven't crossed off your list, please fire it in now. For me, tonight's session was just to learn so much about Ronaldo and the career path that you've taken and how it's exploded for you, and just a different, like you've launched your iconic restaurant. There's the book. There's the website. You're doing videos. I mean, the daily or the regular blogs that you do. I mean, there's so much that you're doing, which I think um, depending on what the people attending tonight or will watch this in the future will definitely be able to resonate with. So thank you for your time. Is there anything, I know there's a few different things in the build up to this that you wanted to mention at the end of the session. Is there anything that we need that you would like to, was there something on the
I
website
think
that
it
you
was,
wanted to?
no, I think it was to show them the website, to show the new website coming up so they can actually stay in tune with me. If they, want to find me on social media, I can show you guys quickly here. That's my page on Facebook. It's called Ronaldo's Kitchen, the Superpower Nutrition. And that's a page that, I have for a couple of years now. And just, add me there, and I constantly post things about health and about fitness. I love, do at least 3 posts a week. But if you want my personal page, it's Ronaldo Fulieri, and you can add me as a friend. In that page, I post more stuff about my life and what's going on at the moment. But this page here, it's purely about about nutrition and about health.
I think that's really great. I mean, for anybody who is using Facebook as their website, I mean, it's always good to see what other people are doing, but yeah, obviously just to keep in touch with what's currently happening in the nutrition and naturopathy world through Ronaldo's eyes would be really good as well. I'm sure Ronaldo would love you to join him along his future career path. So definitely,
Yes.
yeah, Google Ronaldo and you'll be blown away by what he's been up to in the last couple of years. So
Yes.
I have had a few comments come in, Ronaldo. Um, this is from Debbie. Has been a really great hour. Thank you, Ronaldo, for your insight, inspiration, and motivation. All the very best in your studies, and thanks. Um, just, just
Thank
had
you.
just had us come back with thank you, Ronaldo. Such an informative and inspiring session tonight. And
Thank you.
Sarah, very useful information tonight. I'm not surprised at your success as you have communicated very well. So well done, Ronaldo.
Thanks.
So thank you for those.
Communication.
Thank you for those great comments. Keep coming them in. Even if the session closes, I'll pass them on to Ronaldo. But I just would
Thank
like,
you, guys.
again, thank you, Ronaldo, for your time tonight. If there are any questions that you have um, after tonight, like if you go away, just send them to me, and I'm sure I can ask Ronaldo, and he can pass them. He can answer them for me to pass them on to you, or if you need his website and you can't track him down, just get in touch with me, and I can share that with you. Okay, so
Thank you very much,
this,
Ray. That was a great session.
yeah, this webinar, it's been recorded. It will go up on the Career Service website. So if you need to find that, it's on the main Endeavour website, and just select Careers on the side panel. The next webinar is going to be on July 17th, and again, we're actually going to focus on a whole session on social media. Ronaldo's touched on a bit of that tonight. So Nina Toby, who's a social media expert, is going to actually expand on that even further for us. So if that's something you're interested in, we look forward to you attending that session. So apart from that, Ronaldo, thanks again. Thanks everyone for
Thank you.
tuning in
Thank
tonight, and
you.
we hope to see you again in the future. Okay.